You're listening to Titans of the Trades. I'm your host, Ryan England, author of Hire Better People Faster and creator of the CoreFit hiring system, a proven process to help growing companies attract and retain only the best. I'm on a mission to revolutionize the perception of the trades and elevate it to new heights. After growing up in a blue-collar family, my passion for making the trades cool again runs deep. If you're a titan in the industry and want to be on my show, stick around until the end and I'll reveal how you can be my next guest. We've talked about the fact that in the trades, there is a labor shortage, or at least we perceive there to be a labor shortage. Nobody wants to do the work. Nobody wants to come into the field. It's a real challenge for contractors to grow. Today's guest actually is going to help us shatter that myth and tell us why that is not true. The problems that the industry is facing have nothing to do with a labor shortage. They are much more self-inflicted than that. Today's guest is the CEO and founder of Skillcat, an online training platform that can actually get your technicians EPA certified virtually. It's an amazing platform, and I can't wait for you to learn more about it and to hear from today's guest. Ruchir Shah is the CEO and founder of Skillcat. Ruchir, welcome to the show.
Awesome to be here. Yeah, I'm really excited.
You know, it's interesting. I joked about this the last time we talked, but we've known each other for years. And we talk like once or twice a year. And I think this year, like we've blown all those old stats out of the water with the times we've connected. So super thrilled to have you here today. And what you are doing over at Skillcat is incredible. And I can't wait to dig into it. But before we do that, what's that myth? What's that thing that you see a lot of people in the industry telling themselves that you're like, it is not true, and here's why? What's that thing you want to shatter for our listeners today?
So I think the biggest myth is that there is a skilled trade worker shortage. I actually don't think there's a shortage of technicians. I think there's a shortage of pipelines and access points for people to break into the industry and grow. But there's a lot of people out there who want to work in skilled trade jobs. They just don't know how to get there. So I think it's a myth that there's a shortage of skilled trade technicians.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's dig into that more, because I know that everybody listening right now is like, I don't know if I want to listen to this because I think he's wrong. Tell me about that. Like, break it down. I love what you said, though, the shortage of pipelines. So explain that.
Yeah, it's interesting. So like when we got started, our focus was how do we bring more people into the skilled trades? And our approach for the last 3 years has been, hey, let's build out an entirely free online training platform and see who actually bites. And, if you make it free, accessible, easy to get a job in the trades, will people actually show interest? And they definitely did. And so we've trained about 100,000 people through our platform. And every single day we get people reaching out of all shapes and sizes, like a lot of women, a lot of minorities, a lot of young people, a lot of non-native English speakers. So a bunch of non-traditional folks who just don't know people in the trades and don't have good access to jobs in the trades. So what we've seen is a lot of people want to work in the trades. Just companies have a tendency to continue looking in the same ponds and the same groups of people they have for 30, 40, 50 years. And they're not marketing themselves and pushing this opportunity to new people who they haven't tackled in the past. So there's a huge group of people out there who really want to break in. Like, for example, when we were really involved in placing people into jobs, we would get resumes from people who almost definitely would get rejected by the vast majority of companies. Like, for example, we'd get people who had worked with their hands for years in oil and gas or in manufacturing. Excellent mechanical skills, excellent electrical skills, a lot of troubleshooting skills, install work, but companies were rejecting them because they didn't have 5 years of HVAC experience. Yeah, maybe that's true, but they have years and years of skilled trade experience that can translate really, really well. You just give them a chance. Yeah. There are people we talked to who had done, 10, 20 years of HVAC experience, but in Egypt. And they were new immigrants in the US, or in Mexico, and they were new immigrants in the US. They had all their papers, they could work legally, but companies just were like, oh, I don't know what to do with this. And they would just get flat rejected by an ATS system. So
Wow.
there's just a lot of people out there who just don't have access. But there's definitely a lot of people with a passion to work in the trades, especially now. I mean, you see all these white collar people who used to work in roles in marketing and in writing, all getting displaced, and a lot of folks are looking to the trades. There's a huge opportunity for the right companies to capitalize on that influx of talent.
Absolutely. It's interesting. Some of the groups that you mentioned, the ones that we see a lot are particularly non-English speakers.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot, which is a minority group. We also see women as a minority group in the trades, vastly underrepresented.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're right. To your point, not only have the applicant tracking systems been set up to disqualify those people because they don't fit the mold,
Mm-hmm.
but I think also people who are in HR, office manager, they come to the place with biases, and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you know what? I don't have the time to figure out how to train somebody because they don't have the exact skills I need, or because
Mm-hmm.
there might be a communications barrier or something like that. And even though these people would be amazing fit
Yeah.
with a little bit of TLC, if you will, just a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
investment in them, they'd probably end up being amazing employees. The industry is just not primed for that. And I know that's where your platform comes in,
Mm-hmm.
really helping them with probably one of the biggest challenges they have, which is finding the time to give that hands-on, that specific training
Mm-hmm.
to an inexperienced or technician, or someone who maybe has 20 years of mechanical, but not specifically working on the type of stuff
Yeah.
you're doing.
Absolutely. And I mean, another benefit of, some of these things online is, we have one of our early students on the platform was this woman, Jennifer. She runs this platform for women in HVAC called HVAC Chicks. She's really great. Recommend definitely checking it out if you're a woman in the trades. But she'd always wanted to break into HVAC. Her husband was a technician for many years, but she felt intimidated because you go to these trade schools and it's all guys. You go to most of the job sites, your boss, everyone's going to be a guy, and so it's tough to
Mm-hmm.
build those skills. If you can do it digitally, if you can have access to circles that enable you to be with other folks who are also you know minorities, it makes it a lot easier to break in that way. So I think you have companies not taking proper risks. You have people not feeling a good environment where they can feel supported. And then a lot of people just don't know. So like when I got started with Skillcat, we're based in Silicon Valley. I came out of Stanford. There are 100 startups here building out software companies to get more software developer jobs, right?
Mm.
Training for software developers, like hiring for software developers. There's so many companies doing that. No one's doing it for the trades. I mean, it's starting a little bit, but it's a huge proportion of difference. And I mean, frankly, you make similar or more money in the trades than as a software developer. There's a bigger shortage of trade technicians than there is of software developers, and you're happier. Job satisfaction is significantly higher because you actually complete something. You complete jobs and tasks every single day. So a lot of people just don't realize you get fed this narrative college, 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 like software, software, software. But the jobs that are actually least likely to get automated for the foreseeable future are the trade jobs. Software developers, especially lower level software developers, are going to get automated way before skilled trade technicians. So there's a
Oh
narrative
yeah.
needs to change, and a lot of people just don't realize how much damn money you can make.
I've got a client that's in structural steel, and there's this robotics company that came about, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, and he
Mm-hmm.
was one of the first people to get to test this thing. And even though the robots are taking away some of the backbreaking work, um,
Mm-hmm.
they ain't perfect, and they got a long ways to go, because you take a robot that is supposed to do something that usually a crew of 5 or 6 guys would do, with skills all working in sync, and these robots break down, and
Yeah.
it it's interesting to see what's happening, what people are looking to do to supplement the fact that we have a perceived labor shortage in the trades. But that stuff's not advancing nearly as fast as the stuff. I mean, I saw that Chat GPT can write WordPress plugins now. Like, you just tell it what you want to do, and it just writes the whole thing. Like, that's that lower level software developer you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
The days of website developers is going to quickly go away,
Mm-hmm.
because automation is going to replace that. So you'd made a comment about the the woman that looks at the trades and says, I don't really want to apply. It's kind of it's not really conducive for women in the trades. And I know that Skillcat is great in that you can learn the trade, you can train. But what advice do you have for our listeners when it comes to those people that want to open up their business, that want to be able to say, hey, we want to attract more women, we want to attract more minorities? What are some things that our listeners could do, maybe one or two things that you've seen working to get those people more excited about coming to the trades?
Yeah, it's a great question. Well, first of all, just give them a chance, right? So there are women out there who are applying, who are interested. Are you still there, Ryan? Oh,
yeah, I lost you for a second.
Okay, yeah. So I said, yeah, first of all, just give them a chance, right? There are a lot of women out there who are interested and want to break in. They just they're not given the opportunity, right? So treat them like professionals, give them an opportunity. And a lot of the companies we've talked to actually like female techs better than male techs, right? They can often be, more disciplined, harder working, more focused. Maybe there's some challenges in like the heavy lifting area, but there are a lot of women who are very strong. Like give folks a chance, and I think from what we've seen based on actual results with companies, they do just as well or better. So first, give them a chance. Second, yeah, look for think about where you're advertising and what you're using to market your jobs, right? If the traditional approach, for that you're using in your ads or in your pipelines for talent is very male focused, you're going to get more male applicants. But if you think about different ways to word, these jobs and different imagery to use when you're marketing these roles, you'll get a different pool of talent. Something else we've seen that's really interesting, I think family members of people who are in the trades, so daughters, wives, a lot of those folks actually end up moving into the trades, and so that's another really cool group to look at. We've seen multiple examples where people's spouses end up getting into the trades.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean the referral system that exists, people that are in it being able to refer their friends and family, and I agree with what you said, is make it so that the people that are out there that you want to attract are actually attractive to your ads and to your pipeline and to your website. So there's a lot of ways to do it. One of the things that I do hear a lot about is we were talking about this before we started recording. Everybody wants to hire someone with 5 years experience, working on the exact equipment that they work on, serving the exact customer that they want to serve. And that way of thinking, we were talking about, like, that kind of needs to go away. That's an old school way of thinking. We need to think about how we're going to grow our business and how we're going to attract talent differently. What are you seeing out there in the marketplace that's working for companies that want to make that shift?
Yeah, and I would push back against that being an old school way of thinking. And it is old school in the sense people are doing it now, but 30, 40 years ago, everybody had apprenticeship programs. And everybody focused on bringing young people and like entry-level people into the trades. At some point, we just stopped doing that. And we're like, hey, we can just hire enough experienced techs. But it's just no longer possible, right? Every year, you have more and more people retiring. And, we have some of the oldest technician workforces of any industry, right? Average age is, I think, 40s, 50s, or even 60s, depending on the trade.
Yeah.
So you just can't do that. It's not possible. If you want to grow quickly, if you want to expand your business, there's absolutely no way you can rely just on experienced techs. So I think there's a couple of different strategies here. First hiring more effectively. So I think a lot of people get frustrated with entry level techs because you bring on people who don't retain very well. Right? They quit a few weeks later, or they ask a lot of stupid questions. They don't have good mechanical aptitude. So hire better. Use assessments. Whether it's use assessments, do a more structured interview process, figure out a way to hire more effectively, so you get really good people who can actually are eager to learn and will do well on the job. That's number one. Number two, I think building out an apprenticeship program. And so whether it's a tool like Skillcat that has online training or it's an in-person program, figure out a way that you can match your technicians with more experienced techs, have them supported on ride-alongs and give them support and training in the field so they can continue growing and learning.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I think there's a lot of tools out there to help technicians become more independent faster. And so we're building out like a Skillcat Copilot solution where we walk you through in the field every single task you're going to work on and exactly step by step how you would troubleshoot different issues. And so it's almost like you have a service manager in your pocket guiding you. But we're not the only one. You look at like Blue On, they've done some really, really neat stuff in the space where you have a free call center of experienced techs you can be in the field and you can talk to for help. You look at a company like XOI, they built really great solutions for technicians to get help and support from their managers. And so there's a lot of great software tools out there that actually make it a lot easier, where you don't need to, have an experienced tech sitting side by side with your entry level tech every single day, being at 20% of their normal productivity. You can use a lot of this really neat software and these really neat apps to just make that process a lot easier, to bring it from 5 years to 1 year or 6 months, where they can start contributing and bringing value. So I think it's a different world than it was 5-10 years ago in terms of technology that can really help empower entry level techs a lot faster.
Yeah, we just I just had Aaron from XOI on the show
Cool.
a few weeks back, and the stuff that they're doing, the stuff that you're doing. I mean, I love that people are figuring out how to leverage technology for an industry that's been around for almost a century, and is able to say, hey, look, there's ways to use technology to train our people faster, to train them better, to help you with not only hiring but retention. Because I know that a lot of technicians, they want to be trained, they want to learn, this equipment's all turned into computers. Like, they've got to learn new stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're not helping them learn the new equipment, they're going to go find somebody that is. And so I love what you guys are doing over there and helping these contractors be able to train their technicians and basically fish from a new pond of candidates. They don't have to go the old route of saying you got to have 5 years experience, 5 years in the industry, all of this, and basically taking from someone else. They can actually go and say, who wants to be here? Because there's another thing I find with a lot of technicians. A lot of them were beat up over the pandemic. They're like, I want to go find something that's easier. And there's a whole brand new group of people that are like, I want to be in the trades because I want to make the kind of money they made during the pandemic, and I want to be able to do those things. And they're seeing it. They're just looking at it from a different perspective. So I think it's all great stuff. So tell me a little bit about Skillcat. Like, what is it that Skillcat does, and how can Skillcat help a contractor hire someone who's brand new but wants to be there, but just doesn't necessarily have the skills to perform day one?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've built out a mobile app. We have about 100,000 users. Real focus is make it really easy for technicians to become independent and grow faster in the trades. And so we built out about 150 courses, simulation-based courses, where you get sort of digital hands-on experience through different tasks, and can get EPA certified 100% through our app.
Wow.
And so it's really, really easy for technicians to get all the skills they need. It's very gamified. To think a little bit like Duolingo for the trades, where it's really easy on your phone. We're building in a leaderboard. You have streaks. There are a lot of incentives to get folks to continuously grow and learn and keep track of their progress through the app. And so we're actually, I think at this point, the first or second largest EPA provider in the country, because we made it easy to do it without a... Thank you. So like, no proctor required. Our app uses AI to take pictures and videos of you as you're going through the exam, and automatically verifies if you're cheating or not. And so we're super convenient, easy solution for technicians to use in the field. And that's the training side. And then we built out this new Skillcat Copilot product on real-time help and guidance for techs in the field. So if you're in the field, you pull up your phone, we walk you through step-by-step how to troubleshoot an issue, with pictures and videos walking you through while you're right next to a specific unit. And so making it really easy for techs to get all the advice and ideas and things that you would typically ask a manager or a call center for, putting it all one-stop shop in the app, accessible. So yeah, the vision is eventually making it so you could take, a completely, a worker who's completely new, someone from McDonald's or, someone from trucking who's never had any previous experience in the trades. They can get out in the field, use our app, and start bringing value independently as a technician. So that's our vision and kind of what we're working towards.
I love it. I love it. And I noticed that you guys are actually moving into some other industries as well on your website. So I know some of them say join the wait list and everything else, but um, I have a lot of friends and we have a lot of clients that are in the steel industry, iron
Mhm.
workers, cranes, welding, those kinds of things. I see that stuff. It looks like it's coming soon in the app.
Yeah. Well, I think what we realize is ultimately every skill trade, it's basically mechanical skills, electrical skills. And so if you have the fundamentals and you can learn how to troubleshoot something mechanically, electrically, and then put all that together, you're really good across a wide variety of trades. That's why one of our big things is helping people move between industries, because they're not as different as you would think, right? Like if you
Yeah.
can diagnose and troubleshoot and replace a motor in a car, it's not that different from doing it on an AC system. And people just need to realize that. Otherwise, they're that's how you solve the shortage in other ways. Just bring in people with those unconventional backgrounds who have a lot of the right skills.
The mechanical aptitude, if that is there and they understand how mechanics work, I've seen that do just be amazing. I mean, we've seen people come from a completely unrelated industry, restaurants, for example, and they'll
Mhm.
come into one of the skilled trades and they will just knock it out of the park because they paid attention, they had the mechanical aptitude, they saw what was working, how things put together, and they
Mhm.
were able to make that transition. And that unconventional piece is the piece that I think a lot of people are missing. But I think it's awesome to
Yeah.
hear that you are branching off into other industries as well, because there is a real lack of resources, I believe, when it comes to a training platform that, and I love what you said, it was gamified, that is really attractive to the modern workforce. The modern workforce
Exactly.
doesn't want to crack open a textbook and look through 400 pages and do this really slow process, almost like going to college. That's not what they want. They want to be able to pull up their phone and it's intuitive and it's fun and it's exciting and it's competitive. And you guys are doing that over there at Skillcat, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And we techs are competitive, right? So it's like maybe entry level techs and like millennial techs like technology, but we put streaks in the app. We're putting a leaderboard in, like, and we've done it manually for a lot of companies. People get competitive, right? So you get techs
Yeah.
really wanting to win and crush it at training because they're competing against other people. So whatever it takes, right, to get folks like learning and
I love it.
growing and improving. If it needs gamification and competition, so be it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I've seen some of the demos that you guys have and some of the trainings that you have, and it's just really cool cutting edge stuff. And I mean, you're already working with 100,000 techs, and you can trust that when someone's trained by Skillcat that they've got the skills that they need. And if not, you guys are going to go make sure that they get them, that the training
Yeah.
exists and everything's there. Because I've seen you guys grow so much over the last couple of years and the trainings that you've added. Ruchir, this was awesome, and I've got so many ideas now and so many people that I think need to know about your platform. How do
Mhm.
people get a hold of you? How do they learn more? And I think you've got a special offer for our listeners as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we're Skillcat. You can find the skillcat.com or skillcatapp.com. We uh we offer our app and our product both to technicians. So if you have a specific technician that wants to get trained, they can go through our product. But primarily for contractors. So any contractors that really want to grow and expand and build their businesses, you know, im- investing in your technicians is a huge part of that. And so, for anyone on this listening to this podcast, if you're interested, shoot me an email and we'll give you a month free, as many texts as you want. Get them on the platform, give them a shot to try everything. You can get your entire company EPA certified in that month if you want. But take that month free and see if we can actually help you guys out. If you're interested, you can send me an email. My email is Ruchir, Ruchir, at skillcatapp.com. Shoot me an email or just email us through our website and mention that you listen to us on this podcast, and we'll get you that free month.
I love it. Thank you so much. That's an amazing offer. Make sure you take Ruchir up and his team on this offer. I know he's going to connect you with some people so you can learn more about the platform and how you can really grow. This is great. I really enjoyed talking to you about this, and I cannot wait to share this episode with so many people and make sure that they know that this resource exists, because it really is valuable. And a lot of the things that you said around hiring and attracting, I mean, that's the stuff we do over here at Core Matters, is help you think outside the box. And how do you start attracting the people that want to be in the industry? Not the people that feel like they're stuck, but the people that want to be here. How do you support them? How do you really make them a very valuable member of your team? And I think a combination of thinking a little bit differently, putting in some hiring processes in place like we do at Core Matters, and then partnering with someone like Skillcat to make sure that you got the training and everything. And it's just that 1-2 punch that's really going to help you grow your business. Ruchir, thank you so much for being here again. I really enjoyed it. And I look forward to connecting again very soon.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thanks, Ryan. Had a great time.
Ryan England here. Thank you so much for listening to Titans of the Trades. If you're a titan in the construction, manufacturing, or skilled trades industry and would like to be a guest on my show, please visit podcast.corematters.com. If you found value in this interview, would you share this episode on social media? Just do a quick screenshot on your phone and share it with a friend or post it on social. And if you know someone that would be a great guest, tag them on social media to let them know about the show and include the hashtag Titans of the Trades. I love seeing your posts and guest suggestions. We are regularly putting out new episodes and content. To make sure you don't miss any episodes, click the subscribe button. Your thumbs up, ratings, and reviews go a long way to help promote the show and get me one step closer to solving the labor crisis facing the industry. Want to know more about how we're doing that? Go to our website or follow me on LinkedIn. Thanks for listening.